Hi guys and welcome back to TomTalks. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And today we're going to be looking at the Brit Awards 2023, which, yeah, they were very disappointing. Like, the Brit Awards isn't amazing usually, but I think it's improved with its picks over the last few years. But yeah, the Brit Awards this year were not great at all. So album of the year went to Harry Styles for Harry's House, which was like the very predictable choice. I mean, it's got some enjoyable songs on there. I think it's his best project, but like, is it album of the year worthy? No, it's not. I mean, the Wet Leg record, while not amazing, is a very enjoyable record. Stormzy's new album was pretty good. Fred again did his thing on Actual Life 3. All those albums are much better bodies of work, but Harry Styles has won. Yeah, he is a talented artist, but a lot of his inspiration comes from people like Prince, David Bowie, Fleetwood Mac. He's not unique or pioneering, and you can make the argument that none of the artists on the album of the year list are, well, except Fred again. I think the rest probably aren't unique or Stormzy's kind of pioneering. He's a rapper who's doing different. I mean, Kanye's done that before, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Harry Styles won. He also won Artist of the Year, which again was a very predictable choice. I personally would have gone for like Stormzy or Fred again. I think Central C's done all right, I guess. I'm just glad George Ezra didn't win, but Harry Styles was again the predictable choice. British group went to Wet Leg, which I'm happy about because I enjoyed their debut album quite a bit. I would have liked to have seen the Bad Boy Chiller crew win, but I did expect them to win. All the other artists on the list, I'm not too fussed. Nova Twins are cool. I'm not massive on their sound. Song of the Year, which I believe is public vote, that went to Harry Styles as it was. I'm fine with that. It's the biggest song of the year. I mean, there's songs in here I prefer, like Go by Cat Burns, Baddest of Them All by Liza Rose and Interplanetary Criminal, Unholy by Sam Smith and Kim Petras, and Afraid to Feel by LF System. But yeah, I mean, it was the predictable choice, but it is the biggest song of the year. I can't hate on that. I'm just glad it didn't go to like that awful Ed Sheeran and Elton John Christmas song. I feel like they just shoehorned a nomination in for Ed Sheeran there. Best Pop and R&B Act, which is also publicly voted, went to Harry Styles. No surprise there. I mean, he's the most popular act on the list. Personally, I would have liked to have seen it gone to Charlie. I think Charlie had a pretty good year. Cat Burns, obviously, Go was a massive hit. Sam Smith, they had obviously Unholy, but, you know, I don't know why Dua Lipa's there. Also, shout out to Mahalia for calling out the lack of R&B nominations, because calling this a pop R&B award is a disgrace. And also shout out Charlie and Rena for calling out the fact that there is no women on the best artist of the year list, because like, you're telling me there's no women better than George Ezra this year? Are you really telling me that? Best dance act, it went to Becky Hill. I'm not surprised. It's a publicly voted award. She also didn't know who she was nominated against. She was talking about people from last year, which was like... Becky Hill is an enjoyable artist. She didn't even make her best material this year, though, in my opinion. I mean, Bonobo and Fred again, much talented producers. Eliza Rose had one of the biggest songs of the year. Calvin has an alright year. I'm fine with Becky Hill beating Calvin here, but like... Really? You're telling me Becky Hill is a better artist than Bonobo and Fred again? I mean, if you're going to have like a publicly voted award, then you can't expect Bonobo or Fred again to be beating Becky Hill. You can't be expecting Charlie or Cat Burns to be beating Harry Styles. It's just unfair, really. Artists should be judged on their merit, and when you have publicly voted awards, they're not going to be judged on their merit. Song of the Year, fine. Give that a public vote, but these categories... It's not fair. People who are the most successful are just going to win whatever their creative output. Best New Artist, was this publicly voted? I'm not 100% sure. That went to Wet Leg. I'm cool with Wet Leg with this. I mean, I obviously prefer Koji Radical and Rina Sawayama, but I'm fine with this. I'm glad Mimi Webb didn't win because I don't really see the appeal. Sam Ryder, I mean, you won Eurovision, cool, I guess. Best Rock Alternative Act went to the 1975. I mean, they've got a big fan base, so that's no surprise there. I obviously would have liked to have seen Wet Leg win this. Their new album was fine. I mean, it wasn't amazing, really. It had some good tracks on there, but yeah, it was the 1975, I guess. You knew what you were getting with that. Best hip hop grime and rap act went to H. Oh god, this was definitely one of the worst ones on the list. I mean, H, really? Ugh. Like, in terms of quality, Loyal Kana obviously should have won. He had one of the best projects of the year. Stormzy, I guess he rapped on a fair bit of his album, but like putting him here is a bit, you know. Central C is like a much bigger year than H did. Dave, again, I think is just there because it's Dave. Dave is a talented artist, but he didn't release most of his stuff here. Like, you should have allowed, like, I don't know, someone like K-Trap or Heady One to be on this list, to be honest. But H winning, I think, is like a slap in the face, really. And again, it shows the British public's lack of taste. Like, H is a good rapper, but like, is he as big as Central C? No. Is he as talented as Loyal Kana or Stormzy? No. This is just a mess of an award anyway, because it's like best hip hop grime rap act. But there's no grime artist on this list. So, you know. Also wanted to just clarify for a few people, because I've seen a lot of people say, why was Little Sims not nominated? Firstly, her album No Thank You came out after the like deadline, I think. Like, it came out at the start of December. And second of all, to be nominated for a Brit Award, you have to have a top 40 album or 2 top 20 singles in that span. So even if she was part of it, No Thank You, I don't think even charted, which I was very shocked by, to be fair. So if you want Little Sims to get nominated next year, go buy her album, go stream it, get it into the top 40. So, yeah, go do that. Get her a Brit. Wow, another Brit. International Artist of the Year went to Beyonce. I personally would have preferred Kendrick, but I can't deny that Renaissance was a great album. Had some great stuff on there, so I'm perfectly fine with that. International Group went to Fontaine's DC. I didn't really have any stakes in this award. I mean, I'm not a particular fan of Fontaine's DC. When it comes to post-punk, I think they are one of the weaker popular acts. I mean, I haven't really listened to Gabriel's. I've heard some good stuff. First Aid Kit are cool. The Drake and 21 Savage record was fine. I didn't really have any stakes in this award, to be honest. So, but I probably wouldn't have picked Fontaine's DC. Best International Song went to Break My Soul by Beyonce. Yeah, it's the best song on the list here. It very much deserved it. It's an absolute banger. Just glad it didn't go to that awful ABCDFU track. Thank God for that. Producer of the Year went to David Guesser. Producer of the Year, really? Ugh. What, because he made I'm Blue Dabba Dee Bubba Da? He's the Producer of the Year? Fred again was done very dirty at this award show, is all I can say. Songwriter of the Year went to Kid Harpoon, who I'm just going to have a look at what he did. He did Harry Styles' new album. He did one of the tracks on Lizzo's new record. He did Maggie Rogers' new record, and he did a couple of Florence tracks. Speaking of Florence, where was she? Why was Florence not nominated for any awards? Telling me Florence isn't as good as George Ezra? Because you're talking... I'm sure there was some good stuff on that Harry Styles album, but is he Songwriter of the Year? I don't know. And then finally, the Rising Star Award, of course, went to Flo. I personally would have gone for Near Archives, but I think Flo are doing bits, and I think they're going to have a great year. I think it was a bit of an insult they weren't allowed to perform at the award ceremony, considering they usually let the Rising Star winners, and they didn't even present them with the award, I think, which I think is a bit of a kick in the teeth to them. Yeah, final one of these, just to clarify, Flo didn't get their award during the ceremony, but on the red carpet, which is still kind of an insult, to be honest. Like, they usually give the Rising Star Award out in the awards ceremony, so why not? It's just another point in this absolute mess of a show, really. Yeah, the Brit Awards really had a big stinker this year. It really stunk of predictability, mediocrity, and popularity, really. Oh dear. I mean, the Grammys were not great this year, but they were at least some artists who deserve to win. I mean, I guess Wet Legs deserve to win some of theirs. Well, I mean, I enjoy Wet Legs music. They wouldn't be my pick for like best new artist, best group. I guess, yeah. I don't know. It was a very disappointing year this year, and it's a shame because the Brit Awards have been getting better, but this year they really missed the mark in a lot of ways. Whether it was the winners, the R&B category, the having a grime hip hop rap category, but they messed up with the winner, and then they messed up calling it a grime category, not having any women in best new artist. And yeah, like I said, they did kind of disrespect Flo by not giving the award and then not letting them perform on the night. But yeah, I think the Brit Awards has a lot of rethinking to do, because it is going to lose its audience if it's just giving awards to predictableness. Yeah. I'm rambling now, so I'm just going to shut up. But yeah, what were your thoughts on this year's Brit Awards? Were you as disappointed as me? Were you happy? Do you think that the right people won? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, this has been another TomTalks.